If you've been told that your kid has ADHD, or you're sitting in IEP meetings year after year hearing the same goals over and over and over again, and it still feels like something's being missed, like we're not getting the full picture of your child, you're right. Here's what the ADHD diagnosis is never going to explain. Any diagnosis of neurodivergence like ADHD is literally just a description. It's a list of symptoms all grouped together and a label is slapped on that group. It just tells you what your child is doing, which you already knew. It never tells you why. And the why lives underneath the diagnosis, underneath the symptoms. And it's all about how your child's brain was built from the bottom up and the back to the front. That's how all of our brains are developed, bottom up, back to front. The brainstem, where primitive reflexes are located, is first. After that, we get sensory and motor development, then we get cognition, and then we get executive function all the way up in here in our prefrontal cortex. That's where we get thinking and focus and self-control. Every layer is dependent on the one being built before it, just like building a cake. If your first layer is all wonky, the rest of your cake's gonna look like trash. So when the foundation of your child's neurodevelopment has gaps, everything stacked on top of it is going to wobble. So it's not just a focus problem, it's a foundation that never got finished. So if your child can't sit still, for example, they have a retained spinal galant reflex in their brainstem still firing. Staying still requires so much more energy than they should have to give for such a simple task. If they can't focus, they have a retained symmetrical and asymmetrical tonic neck reflex. They're still pulling at their posture and making it difficult for them to control their own eyes. So their brain's busy managing their body instead of the lesson they're supposed to be learning at school. If they're having emotional outbursts and explosions, they have a retained Moro reflex. It's keeping their body in threat mode and threat response state. If they have a hard time starting or finishing anything, that looks like what everyone's going to call executive function, right? That's all the way up here. But all of this is running on a foundation that keeps demanding its attention and its energy. This is why an IEP can be useful and help your child manage the day a little bit better, but it's not changing what's going on. It's not changing the underneath. So accommodations and IEPs, they manage all the systems. So all these accommodations really manage the symptoms at the top of the brain. Fidget tool, the extra time, having somebody read the test to them. They make the day survivable for your child. They don't do anything to address the foundation, the why, the what is really going on that's making these things difficult in the first place. And if you keep going down that path forever without dealing with the foundation, you're just going to be stuck in symptom management forever. But here's what's actually possible. When you build that foundation, those reflexes integrate and they get out of the way. And then we focus on developing any sensory or motor functions that were disrupted, and then cognition. Then executive function really just starts to fall into place and things click the way that they were supposed to. All those symptoms that the IEP was trying to manage for all those years start to change without anybody targeting them directly. But that only happens when you stop managing the output and you start repairing and developing the root. If you want to learn more about what all of that means, comment the word brain below for a quick video breaking down all the science behind everything that I just explained, or head to the link in our bio for a free consultation.